Hi, I'm Logan, and oh boy, I can't explain my love for the Legend of Zelda series and how much it's done for the cardboard box industry. So the Legend of Link series is a series of games that was first introduced on February 21st, 1986, made by, who would have guessed, Nintendo. Personally, I think that this game series is great. Probably about 99.9% of the population of the Earth enjoy this game series. I just wish I could find a Clorox that gets rid of 100% of germs. And now I am off topic. By that, I mean that I wish that I could find a Clorox or a thing on the Earth that can make 100% of the population love this game series. I like the Clorox idea, though. That was really cool. Now, as people would say in a conversation, now since we've talked a lot about me, let's talk about me. If I remember correctly, I was introduced to the Zelda games around the Twilight Princess Skyward Sword era, but my favorite game in the series is Majora Wind Waker Mask. Huh? Yeah, so basically for most of my Zelda playing life, I've been stuck between if I love Majora's Mask or Wind Waker more. And for God's sake, the reason I can't decide is probably the fact that I've never beaten either of them, and the fact that the flippin' Zora swimming is so freaking slow in Majora's Mask 3D without magic, and you could probably watch the entirety of the Super Mario Super Show in the time it takes you to swim to Pinnacle Rock. But yeah, currently I'm working on beating Majora's Mask 3D, and I will one day beat Wind Waker, and the main reason Wind Waker is tied for first is because I love its art style and music. And the reason Majora's Mask is because I love the music, story, masks, main villain, Clock Town, Happy Mask Salesman, aka a demon, characters, bombers, different instruments, Clock Town second day, Clock Town third day, and side quests. Sadly, the only Zelda game that I've ever beaten is Breath of the Wild, and I have approximately 140 hours on it, and in that time I could have beaten Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past, and most likely watched 1 or 2 seasons of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, and I have regretted my regret, which has now been regressinated. Grammar, am I right? Now to start the highest rated game of all time, and you guessed it, the Ocarina of Time. But who doesn't love a magical musical instrument that does basically nothing in the main core game besides move a few blocks? I know people will hate me for this, but Ocarina of Time is not even close to my favorite Zelda game. Not even close. Now just please give me a chance. Please give me a chance to explain myself. So yeah, I don't love Ocarina of Time. I do love the game. I just don't think that it gives you much reason to play it for hours at a time. One reason is because most of the game, from what I've played and what I've watched, is just getting from point A to point B. Which, yes, I know that it was made in the later 90s and they didn't have the technology that we have now, but you do gotta remember, Majora's Mask was made 2 years later and has a lot more side quests, a lot more lore, a lot more kind of character development from what I've, played. And it just has a lot more, interesting characters and characteristics, in my opinion, than Ocarina of Time does. Another thing is that I just mostly find the game to get really repetitive. Not really boring, just repetitive. Because you basically just repeat what you did in the child portion in the adult portion, just with a little bit more stuff added in, with dungeons. Things like the water temple. You don't really go there or in that relative area in the child portion, not much, if anything. And I really, really wish that I was able to love this game like most other people, but I do also wish that if they ever kind of remade Ocarina of Time, which they probably will never do, because, highest rated game of all time, probably can't get any better than that. I just wish that they could add a bit more flavor into the game, add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, add a little bit of paprika, add a little bit of He-Man, not really, add a bit more side quests, add a bit more length to the game, even though it's already a pretty long game, add some, maybe a traveling merchant in the main area, make Hyrule more explorable, get rid of the boundaries, kind of break down the walls, expand the world, maybe add Terminas, an extra area at the end. That'd be a cool thing for them to do, that'd be really fun. I do gotta say though, I do love the characters, world, and music of Ocarina of Time. Like, it's so good. Especially the shop and house theme, the do 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 do. I probably went on too long about that, but I think you get my point. And now on to some stuff that I love about this game. I just find it so amazing to see Zelda and Link as kids. Also, it's just so amazing how a little kid, like a little tiny 10-year-old, can save the entire world from mass destruction and an evil man that seems like he always killed something at that very moment. And oh my god, the time traveling is the best freaking part. I love seeing a 10-year-old turn into 20 by just a pressing a button. It makes me feel magical. But now we talk about the original. Now this is a very, very good game. Because first of all, it started the series which we now know and love today. It has a top-down perspective, which I mean is a top-down perspective. What's not to love about it? It's a top-down perspective. And it's really great, like a grater of cheese, which is a grater of cheese, which is now a grater of cheese. And also, it has a really fun sword mechanic where if you're at full health, you throw a sword. Which I wish I had a master or, white sword or something from the game to just throw. That'd be fun, Like, just throw at my floor. I have nothing else to throw it at. I don't really want to throw it at people or, anything. So just the floor. The floor is a floor. I mean, it's a floor. So, yeah, and also the horrible hints. It seems like they put just random words from Marion's dictionary into it. Like, for example, it could be like this. Go to the wall, which is behind the wall, which is inside of the wall. Yeah, it's that, basically. And also, the theme song, the do yeah, you get my point. Yeah, it's probably the best theme song on the planet, and probably almost 100% people know it, probably 99.9%, and we need that 0.1% of people to know it, so we don't need to get a Clorox that knows 100% of people. I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, I think you get the point. Prove me wrong, that's the best song of all time. But I swear, if someone calls Link Zelda, I will lose my freaking shit.